Hello, welcome to another tonalist landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy, and the painting I'm bringing you today is called Sunset Tree. We'll have to see if I can come up with a better title. Usually I kind of nail the titles down after I do my proper photography of the painting, which I like to do prior to selling. By the way, photographing oil paintings can be real tricky, especially, well, if you don't photograph them with a little bit of shine on them, like from a coat of liquid or something, um, or oiled out, you're going to get a bunch of flat, icky color anyway. Like this one doesn't look super awesome in the studio because most of what's in the center of that main tree is very matte, and you're not getting the true. It's not looking like it's going to look for you at the end of this video, basically. Yeah, which all the paint's wet, so everything's on one level. But so you have the problem of the shine with the photography, and my advice to you is like I used to use these big tungsten lamps that put out a lot of heat, and those bulbs died, and I discovered I couldn't get a replacement that was like 10 years old. But I've replaced them with just standard LED light bulbs that are cool white. The real thing is you need two lamps, and you need to have them on some sort of stand so you can get them a good ways away from the painting at a 45-degree angle. And then you got to photograph on a tripod. And don't think you're going to pull it off a great photo with your phone. You might get good accurate color with the phone, but what you won't get is a level of detail that's zoom inable. Yeah, which has always been my thing. I like every single brush stroke to be recorded. So when I zoom in, I can see exactly what's going on, and that way I feel fine when it's sold. It's gone, but I have a very, very accurate and good record of it that who knows I could make a print with later, or I'm using a lot of those photos for my book currently. Well, so there's some photography tips for you. Maybe you don't need it. A lot of you say, "Oh, I don't have a good camera. I don't have a tripod. I don't have any stands for lights, etc." What you do, you still need a better camera than a phone, I would say. Invest like in a cheap. They have a Canon Rebel. Get the the nifty 50 lens. You can find that on eBay. You can get them used. Definitely want a good DSLR type camera though. And if you don't want to do the lights and all that, it's not so hard once you have the camera. Also, tripods are cheap too, really. But you can try the old overcast day underneath the porch kind of trick. The real key is to get even and consistent light. But even with all the stuff that I do, I still have to clean out all the little specular highlights. And it's a bit of a pain. Anyway, let's talk about this painting. So, if you remember the live area, you know this scene already because you see me do the photo compositing for it. So, it might be cool to maybe take that in and see the painting done as an extension of that. I'm pretty happy with the painting. It's actually way different. I painted the scene before. Just last night I saw that painting again for the first time in a long time, and there the main tree that we're looking at in the center, roughly the center, it's just basically solid. And in this one I was trying to get a bit of an airy quality in it. Also, you would have noticed from the little intro screen for the video that it's going to be golds and oranges and reds. Oh my, yeah, doing the gold thing on this, and I did the gold thing on the first iteration of it, which was a 5x10. You could probably find it on the channel without too much difficulty just by typing 5x10 in there. I don't remember what I called it. Hopefully I didn't call it Sunset Tree. Maybe I did. As I'm moving on down the lane, I used to care a lot more about duplicating titles. Now, you know. You need to have some sort of title, though. Don't think you can call everything landscape number 152. People are not going to dig that. Even a non-creative title with words is better than that. Yeah, a non-creative title like Sunset Tree. Uh, and when it comes to titling, yeah, here's another tip for you. I got tips today. Um, Time of day, hmm weather conditions, uh, season, right? Day of the week, stormy Wednesday. There you go. There's the title, right? Um, Thursday afternoon, sunset, spring sunset. You know, bunch of titles for you right there. No problem. Happy to help. Another good tip is I'm sure you all have books full of paintings and things. You can go leafing through, and just because George Inness did a painting called Storm Over the Valley doesn't mean you can't do a painting called Storm Over the Valley. In fact, that's a dang good title. I don't remember that. I haven't done a storm painting recently. But maybe the thing you're most curious about, let's see how many of this is about the point where I might lose a lot of people, so I'm going to talk about color now. Okay, what are the colors I used in this? Well, burnt umber, raw umber, lamp black, cadmium orange, cadmium yellow, lots and lots and lots of cadmium yellow, uh, burnt sienna, raw sienna. That'd be pretty much it. Oh, probably a bit of alizarin crimson here and there as well. But so everything is pivoting off of the yellow, orange, red side of the spectrum. We're not getting into any greens or blues. Sometimes you can pull off this sort of thing with like real warm reddish greens. Like I could have opted to pull in some of those on the ground. But this was designed to be a full-out orange sunset. Yeah. So I did pre-mix, you know, mostly I started off with pre-mixing those rusty oranges in the sky. And those were mixed with, say, like starting with a burnt sienna. Did I say cadmium red? Because I used a bit of that too. Cadmium red, but cadmium red on its own doesn't feel very rusty, so that a lot of times I might have brought that into the shadows more. Or just, you know, introduced it into the yellow to create a variance of the cadmium orange, you know, like a redder cadmium orange. But for the most part, like the rusty tones in the sky, you're leaning into the burnt sienna, which looks a lot like rust, straight up. Um, Burnt sienna and cadmium yellow and cadmium orange. That's pretty much the sky. And then lower part of the sky, we're getting cadmium yellow and white, right? What you see me doing right now is I'm restating the darks. So I just painted the sky. A lot of times I like to go in and hit those darks from my drawing. The drawing stage would have been dry already. I did that separately and let it dry for a week or so. The black in the drawing stage was Mars black. This is just plain old lamp black. And a lot of times I like to get, you know, if I were to have oiled out, I did oil this painting out, but it's still, you can see it looks a little blacker still. I like to get those blacks nice and black for one, but also I like to pull the next darker color out of the blacks. And maybe you noticed in that little back bit of trees, that little copse back there, it's not as black, and the reason is just less pressure. And I'll be coming into that with some, you know, deep dark. Well, you can see the deep dark reds I'm putting in now. And those do look like they've got a hint of alizarin crimson in them. And so basically, you know, from the landforms, I work from the dark out to a light. And from the sky, I do the same, but usually the colors in your sky are never going to be as dark. You really don't want that. That's a big mistake a lot of journeyman painters make. We'll call you a journeyman painter if you're a journeyman painter. It's nicer than the word amateur, so I've been using that lately. But let's just say you're a painter with less than 100 paintings under your belt, or that's not even that many paintings, really. Average painter who's really working pretty good, you're going to do 200 more paintings a year, right? The size doesn't even seem to be much of, well, of course, bigger probably go slower, but I've been thinking a lot about doing large work lately because I'm hopefully going to have a situation before too long where I can set up a real large easel and start getting into some bigger works. And you know me, I'll be recording it. I don't know how yet, because my whole current setup's designed for, you know, a painter sitting down, etc. But one idea I had is maybe pop a video camera on the ceiling, have it pointing down, or I don't know what I'll do. We'll see. Don't worry about it though. We'll make it great. But anyway, been thinking. Sometimes I'm thinking about things I'm going to do months in advance. I've been thinking about, you know, quite large paintings and how I would approach it. And I remember when I was doing artwork for the contract, for hospitality contracts and things, and I would do these acrylic landscapes, but I would use like 2-inch house painting brushes and things, and they would be very immediate. And that's the kind of thing I'm thinking of. Maybe not a 2-inch brush, but yeah, maybe. Who knows? Because the thing is with the larger work is if you work with a too small a brush, or even without, it's like you're able to get so close to things. Things get tighter, and you know. Now this painting, we're almost out. Probably will give it a quick glaze. I'm thinking with Indian yellow, just not a lot either, but that'll have the ultimate unifying effect on this tonalist sunset tree. And now, of course, the live version of this is about 2 hours 46 minutes, and that's in the members area, which costs like $6 a month. That gives you access to all the live videos, and yeah, you can always tip in, tip out, you know, or hang out for long term, like most of my members do. Because there's value there. There's value in watching, being a fly on the wall in the studio. Anyway, thank you for joining me today. Appreciate you watching this video. Go to my website too. What the heck? And meanwhile, until I come back with another video, please do me a favor, stay out of trouble.